All right. So I want to share this thing that I've been working for Resonant OS, which is exactly connected which with what Tom was saying. Basically, inside Resonant OS, now it's outside the settings, but it's gonna be inside settings. You're gonna have this core computer fabric at the moment it's called, which is how Resonant OS should know every single machine that is connected to your system, so it can operate all of them. So it should be part of the Resonant OS. So the augmentor and the engineer agent can look at the machine and then say delegate. Okay, for example, some software maybe run better. In my case, for example, the local model will run on the GX10, but then some files and stuff will be saved on the NAS. This is the Mac Mini, of course. So you can start having an interface where you can architect your system. I mean, the augmentor knows about it, and become much easier for everybody. Because at the moment, most of people use one computer, but the future is going to be with a lot of computer because the demand of AI is insane. I see at the moment, in reality, on my GX10, to use it at the maximum, I can run one model on multiple instances at the same time. Okay, but if I want to run more than one model, then it becomes complicated because of the amount of RAM that is needed. So right now I'm testing. Let me see if it works. I'm testing open code running with the Qwen 3.6 35 billion parameter. Okay, but while I'm testing this, which is amazing, what I'm doing in the background, I'm using ChatGTP, which is monitoring what OpenCode is doing
Oh,
on here.
no. I'm sorry, I was breaking up. My coverage is not wonderful. Um, have you considered having multiple models on your ASUS and just loading the model weights into memory, and then having, like, if you wanted to have it run through two models and come back with a consecutive answer, and then compile that in? Have you considered like loading the model weights like
So
that?
yeah, okay. So in reality, to have while I mean, I can put two models in the same time. Okay, so I was running earlier. What's the name? Uh, Gemma 4, 26 billion, and then Qwen 3.6, 27 billion. Both of them in parallel. And they can run in parallel. But the problem here is when you want to have a large context window, then you don't have enough memory left. And I'm talking about I have 128 gigabyte of RAM. Okay, to which I can use probably over 120 gigabyte of RAM just for AI. And when you have two models and the context windows start to become big, then it's kind of impossible to have two models at the same time. Because if you want to have a context window of 200,000 token, then you need to allow a lot of memory available. So, for example, at the moment, with this Qwen 3.6 35 billion, it takes around 40 gigabyte of RAM to run. But then I can run two instances of this model, okay, at the same time, both of them with 200,000 token of a context window. You see what I mean? But
Okay.
then I can do more. If I want to have three instances, for example, I need to lower the context window. Okay, to with three is 130 something thousand context window. So it's connected to about also not just I can load the model. Do I have the RAM enough to run the the prompt, the memory, the context window? That is the challenge. So if you have a really just a short prompt, okay, I just ask something and then it's done. I get the answer and then it's done. Then a short context window is enough. But if I want to work
Yeah.
like I start chatting, working, and so on, then you need a bigger context window. Therefore, you need a lot of memory.
Well, there's one technique that I've been using. I've got about 45 different models that I use in total in my model pool. And so what I have is like 6 or 7 that are on a specific machine. And when the router decides which model is appropriate for that question type after the categorization, it will dynamically load that model on the machine. So I'm like multi-purpose using one machine for multiple model types.
Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so you can have the machine offload and upload a new model in RAM. The problem is the speed to which required to load those models. So something like those 30 billion parameters take a few minutes. So it's not instant. So you need to wait maybe sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depend to swap the model. So it's not really something that you can do all the time. So what I'm trying to have is a fixed model for example, Hermes, and then which I'm happy with, and then have the same model running on parallel for example, with open code.
Yeah. How are you, what's your experience with the ASUS so far as, the models that you're getting around? Because I know you're playing with the Gemmas, but what else have you put on there that's been usable in
So
the,
at the moment, it is Qwen 3.6, 35 billion. It's even faster than Gemma, and is really useful. So I'm testing this one because I'm thinking about swapping and moving to this 35 billion version. I also tried the 27 billion parameter of Qwen, which is in theory better for coding, but it's really slow, that one. Uh, be- I mean, I use a lot of different models, and they work. The problem here is the token per second. Okay, so if you want to have a token per second that is fast enough, I'm sorry, I'm still sharing the screen. So you can see here. Okay, this is. Uh, this, for example, this Qwen 3.6, 35 billion as an active, okay, a 3 billion. So as 3 billions that are active at the time. So it perform at the speed of a 3 billion parameter model, even though it's 35. The Gemma 4, the Gemma 4 is 26 billion parameter, but has active 4 billion parameter at the time. So it ran at the speed of a 4 billion parameter model.
that's very nice. That
Okay.
hybrid model is very nice, isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is such a beautiful thing. So unless you're looking for that kind of model, there is not too many at this size. Then you go into or something that is smaller or something that is much slower. So the 27 billion parameter on my machine runs around 10 token per second. Okay, this one instead have peaks of 70 token per second. Okay, it's a lot. It's pretty fast.
Did
So
you look at Mistral, the latest one? I've heard that the context window and the speed, I mean, it's not at the top of the benchmarks, but it's frontier level,
for
you know.
yeah, for my understanding, the problem is also they need to be cool, tool calling and agentic. So they need to work. I mean, for my case scenario, if they can't call tools correctly, then I'm not usable because I don't use them for chatting. Okay, I use them to actually do some work. So for Hermes and open code, at the moment, the option that I'm realizing are those ones as are the best options.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a,
Uh,
I've got a lot of the Qwen in my pool as well. The Qwen is, I don't know, I think they're just making really smart choices for some
yeah,
things.
yeah, exactly. They are really good. But anyway, this is my experience so far. But then
Yeah.
things are changing
Well,
so fast. You don't know.
well, I love the view that you're building because it does fit right in with, like the fleet model and consensus, that's, start leveraging whatever they have, frankly, you know.
Uh, Hi, everybody. I see just a few new people joining. I
Sorry,
didn't
some of
know.
these people are going into another meeting.
That's
Diego and Vicente, but Brondelli, I don't know who that is. Diego and Vicente, I'm going to open the breakout room for you. Os abro la... Ok,
Vale, ok,
venga.
entendido.
Brondelli, reveal yourself. What do you mean by hello? Okay. Hello, Brondelli. Uh, nice. You unmute, say something. We want the proof of life. We want to know that you are real.
I'm not a bot.
You know?
Definitely look like a bot to me.
Okay. So, are you with the Chimo team or you're here for this call?
Not yet with my team.
Okay.
No, he's nothing to do. Brondelli, you came in through the Discord. What you saw the link there, yeah?
Yeah, I just saw the link, saw that was interesting, so I came.
Nice.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Feel free to introduce yourself if you want to.
So I've been a software engineer for almost 10 years right now, and I'm working with Cybernetic. So I'm mostly trying to develop solutions and the harness for uh, creating cybernetic feedback loops for software development agents. So this is what I'm doing right now. I gave a quick um, overview on the general chat, so you guys can read it there. And yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here.
Nice to
And
meet you.
thanks for sharing. That was very interesting what you shared. I had a good read on that, and really good stuff. I was surprised by some of the things in there. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And if you are interested in building with Resonant OS and the Resonant DAO, let us know because we are looking for more people to help us out.
Yeah, we have a tech meeting on Mondays if you want to jump in. I mean, we're literally just breaking things, trying to get the product, moving forward. So we could use some help because it's a couple of us coding.
Okay, I'll try to join the meetings and see where I can help. I'm mostly without time, but I'll clear some time on my schedule so I can help you guys, and maybe you guys can help me later. So we develop some.
So, where are you from? Out of curiosity, just to see the
I'm from
introduction.
Brazil.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good. So, yeah. So the time zone matches with the US, so we are. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
We
we
have people
can.
joining from New Zealand that they are pretty challenging for them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's all good.
most of the
Watch
things.
out when you say you're very busy, because every time somebody says that and they join, they end up joining 3-hour meetings twice a week. So I warn you.
Yeah, I'm working on my own personal project that I said earlier, and I have a normal job. So I'm trying to balance everything, but my goal is to deliver some products so I can uh, get out of my 9 to day job and focus more on developing solutions. So I'm with this goal right now for the next 2 months, maybe if everything plays out nice, and I will have more time to help you guys.
Yeah,
Nice.
and your architecture is right in line with what we're doing. So I appreciate how you formalized some of it. Some of the techniques that you're using it was just nice to hear someone frame it that way. So thank you.
Yeah, I have the whole model, but I'm planning to release later. But I can send you guys more without telling too much because I have a partner in this, and we are kind of discussing how we will release this. But maybe we can think of some areas and content that I can release without uh, worries. I think we
Okay.
have
And something to consider, Manolo has architected the system to essentially be an add-on hub. So we're like a harness hub. So it's, just Lego up, mod up the system as much as you can. It has some internal functionality built in, right? The wiki, the browser, the connection to the DAO, the engineering aspect. So there's a base piece, but it's made for add-ons. It's really made for total customization. It might be a good
nice.
place to push your technology.
Yeah, I was thinking of this when I was reading the manifesto earlier today. So maybe we can think of something because a lot of things overlap with what you guys are doing. For example, the week we are developing our own week style and seeing how we can do this. Maybe we can merge, or I can use yours, or you can get some ideas from ours. So we have a lot of uh, place to meet and share, I think.
Yeah, to collaborate, you know.
Yeah, correct. Yes, of course. That was the word that I was trying to get.
Yes, yes, yeah. Collaboration, exactly. This is welcome because this is exactly the place. You know, this is the idea we want to promote because we already like each each individual, each person have a talent. You know, they have knowledge, experience, and we can share and can build together and something like I believe we can do a lot of things together.
Yeah, I'm a mostly normal guy with a normal history, so I'm discovering my talents for this type of technology. I was mostly working with some, I don't know if guys know, domain driven design approach to software development. So that was my uh, specialization, I think. And then I'm using this as a tool to get and develop these systems. So maybe giving this context to you guys and could help a lot. So
Yeah, but don't worry. You know, I didn't know anything about Open Cloud 3 months ago, and
yeah,
now
yeah,
and now I'm talking like an expert, but I'm not an expert. You know. No.
yeah, yeah. Mostly of the work I've done was in the last month of all of this that I'm doing. So I learned. I think my most uh, precious skill is learning. I can learn
Yeah,
really fast,
the
and
same for me. Yeah, good.
yeah, I don't have that mindset of overthinking. I always try to build something small when grow from there. So yeah,
And the AI really helps, doesn't it? It's, as a software engineer, it's eye opening where you would normally spend hours on Stack Overflow, right? It's just, hey,
yeah,
ask the AI to come back and summarize how to do this one technique, and you've saved 3 hours of research.
yes, and I think for bumping ideas and trading with the AI, so uh, because sometimes when you are developing some solutions, you get lost and you spend a lot of time really thinking of the workflow and the process and how the structure and shapes of the things that you're trying to build. And AI helps a lot to um, get some alternatives and iterate from there. I think I'm working most like this, so yeah, it helps a lot.
Maybe
I'm
we should
curious.
do.
Go ahead, Manolo. Go ahead.
I was thinking maybe we should do sort of vibe coding sessions where each one of us shows to the community how they do it. Okay, so we can
Yeah,
learn tips and tricks from each other.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, I'm sure that we're doing things completely different, but we still get, something
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
was about to ask that very question, Manolo. Like, I've heard you talk about how you operate, but like, how do you operate now as a software engineer? Because my operation is way different than it was for the last 20 years, right? So, what is your workflow if you're going to sit down and build something?
Mine.
yeah.
His. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working mostly spec-driven. I think it's the methodology that I choose, and my that whole system that I showed uh, on the general, it's driven by spec-driven, so it's built upon it, and it's mostly like this. Right now, I'm mostly using my own framework that I developed. And for example, right now I'm developing some agent system that I, with luck, can release this week. So for I don't know if you guys know Sonar. Uh, uh, it's a code quality tool for develop software companies. It's a market tool that every big company uses, and it gives some gate quality process and runs on your code base and gives code smells. So right now I'm working on an agent system that do this loop of getting this data from the tool and proposing solutions and acting upon it. So the whole, instead of developer doing this, it will be my agent system.
Very nice. I think that's Manolo has been working on a spec-driven aspect of the system, and I think we're all kind of arriving at that. Spec-driven development, very prescriptive, very narrow. Pre-setting of the context, and then feeding of specs, and then verification through gates.
Yeah.
Manolo's been on that for a little while. That new piece, I'm not too familiar with it, but that's kind of the direction.
What? I didn't get the last.
I said Manolo has been working on
Yeah.
an aspect of Resonant OS and a new version that has that spec-driven development.
Okay.
We saw, I
Nice.
think he showed us the other day, but we haven't seen the full thing yet.
Yeah, maybe I can help it on it. What I'm struggling with right now, it's balance, like I said, the work length with the value delivered by the task, because sometimes the agent, when you are building the spec, it doesn't make the result some of that you can use. So the planning, it's kind of difficult to get it right, and that's what I'm working right now. Maybe Manolo already got to this problem and solved it, and maybe I can use some help. But yeah, we can. I think we have a lot of to collaborate.
Yeah, I'm always happy to help, but I don't know if I found the solution. For me, it's all experimentation all the time.
Yeah,
Um, and I want to see there is a lot of a huge difference between I mean difference in a weird way. So some models can do something, some others they don't, but they do in a different way to achieve the same result. So it is about getting familiar with the model and then understand what's the best way to use it. um, it's
yeah,
and things change so fast. Once you become good at something, everything changes again. So you're never good at anything at the end. But yeah, but it's cool. I love it.
yeah. I don't know if you guys got this. I will send here on the chat, and on the general, but it was something that got in software developer circles, I think. It was released last week, and maybe something could be of use too. So just some reference.
Which system do you use, Vrondelli?
Oh, do you mean
Uh,
by the harnesses
yeah,
or
computer
the
harness,
model?
anything you want to share.
Yeah, I'm working on a normal computer with right now I just upgraded the RAM and the memory RAM to 24 gigabytes, and I'm running mostly on GitHub Copilot because it was the cheapest one, and I'm planning later to move to my to local models, but right now I think I don't want to tackle this because it's another thing to care about, and I'm mostly uh, trying to develop something that is vendor agnostic, model agnostic, and can be applied uh, as anyone wants. So yeah, and right now I'm running mostly with Codex because it's the cheapest one inside Copilot. They just bumped everything up. I'm worrying about my bill next month because right now it was really cheap. I was paying $39 for a lot of work that costs my friends using cloud uh, $200. So yeah, I'm really worried about it right now,
Yeah,
but that's it.
that's how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. But we have to navigate these and ride the waves as much as we can.
Totally. I'm experimenting with local AI. I have a lot of different subscription because I'm testing a lot of things and trying to learn and improve. But at the moment, for me, the most powerful solution at the moment is Codex for sure. With GPT 5.5, it just i- i- is another level to anything else. Also, like you said, for the price, it's affordable and you get a lot out of it. And but at the same time, like I said, what I'm doing it's I'm using Codex to actually fine tune my system with other model.
Yeah. I'm yeah, I mostly focus on these two because um, I'm I don't know if the answer is models, and I think in going the direction of the systems that we build around them. And so this is why I'm not worrying much about models and everything, because what annoys me most is the reliability of the tool usage right now, because the output, I think it's good enough for me.
I mean, I also build it in a way that is model agnostic, so we can always swap and not be dependent from anybody. This is for me the correct way of working. But at the same time, when I change model, I see the system changing. Yeah, so even though it's built not to, to work fine with anything, because at least the memory is still consistent, the protocol have been followed, everything is there. But then you can see GPT 5.5 versus my local AI. And sometimes you don't when you do something simple, but when you do something complex, you do. You clearly do.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's so
Yeah,
interesting.
the approach that I'm trying to take is forcing and creating the context structure and task structure, so the model capabilities it matters less. So this is what I'm trying to achieve. So getting more from less without by using the structure and the system itself. So
So you see, at the
Yeah.
moment, I'm running open code with the Qwen 3.635 billion, and it's doing some it's a kind of, it's not benchmarking because it's actually running software, real software, but at the same time there is codex watching it. Okay, it was look at what it's doing. See, it tells me it's working at 33 token per second, and sometimes change it, but monitor everything, because what I'm trying to do, the problem here, for example, with the codex, it can one shot create an output that is quality and works. Okay, a model like Qwen 3.6 cannot do this. Okay, it's not capable of in one single shot to give you something that is for sure is going to work. So what you need to do is to build a system that actually can then check itself, okay, and then fix it. So you need to build a system that already take in consideration the fact that it's not going to be one shot. It's going to be a series of steps. Therefore, you're going to use more token. It's going to take longer, but at least now it seems that it's done. Let's see what this one is saying. Still analyzing.
yes,
But in that way, you fine tune the system and say, okay, now it's gonna work, because I'm gonna, let me see if I find it. It's what we've been implementing. Basically, it's this one. Implement pass, review pass, fix pass, verify pass. Okay, so it's a series of steps. Instead of GPT 5.5 would just do one single shot. This one is gonna do a series, okay, four steps before getting the output, considering the output as a good quality. So by thinking those terms, you need to consider the model, because the model will make the difference. But if you implement those steps, then the output is not comparable, because it's still probably not comparable. But at least you really gain the best out of the model. And ideally, you would want a different model to review the work of one single model. So in theory, this Gemma 3.6 should be reviewed by another open source model. Otherwise, the risk is that because it's done by the same model, they think alike, and therefore they are biased in pretending that is, yeah, the code looks good because they think in the same terms. Okay, so they think, okay, you predicted this token. I also predict this token in my mind, and therefore they looks plausible. But if you do with a different model, they think differently, so the next token would be different, and therefore they actually need to check the quality of the code.
Yeah. And that is a key element. If you have the same models, even if you spawn multiple self-check versions, or even if you give them different directions, they can still fail in the same way, right? The base data is really the same, and it's that collapse happens, especially when you start being more recursive with the same model. And so going across model types and even model families helps out.
I built a really cool skill for this, which is, let me see if I find it.
it's curious because I arrived at the same model that you are using there, because I prototype some a pipeline just like this, because I saw that if I clutch everything together in the same request, it would be worse output, even if the output was working. And I changed the way that I was working because I saw some research about inline context procedure instead of using a more agent approach. And what I'm working right now is to develop some prompt builder that get the pipeline and tasks, skills, everything that I want to do step by step, and it executes in a Docker contain separately each task of my pipeline. So that's exactly what I'm implementing right now. The whole process and infrastructure to run the prompt builder with the composable pipeline tasks, and then run it on the cloud, for example.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get into the same result because it's start to become kind of not obvious because it's not obvious, but after a while that you start working, you you end up doing the kind of same thing. Uh, and
Yeah.
But yeah, it's frustrating sometimes, and especially when the AI tells you this was a useful failure of the code. It's like it's a useful failure, yeah, but still a failure. uh, Anyway,
Yeah.
so I built this skill that is here and is implemented inside the Augmentor, and in my case inside my what's the name, codex. And here's the description. Basically, what I wanted to do is to have a system that would check the code, okay, for vulnerability, authorization, all those things, okay, correctness, and so on. So I decided to build this skill to how the basically what's the name, MTOS works. Okay, so be inspired by the MTOS as an attitude, and use this skill to then check my code. And on advanced model like GPT 5.5, they manage to actually be impartial towards the code. Okay, in the sense they can do it. You don't need a different model. But if you're using a smaller model like this one, Qwen 3.6, then you see there is less token, okay, that you're gonna use. So it's much more likely to be biased towards one specific, sorry, not token, but what's the name? Parameters. So it's much more biased to go towards, the same parameters. On GPT 5.5, we are talking about trillions of parameters. So it's less vulnerable to that kind of a problem. But
Yeah,
yeah,
this is really solid, Manolo, and it's a lot like what he's working on there. I don't know if you got a chance to look at that post, but it's the same structured approach, but this is really good. How long have you been using this one?
this senior DI developer skill, and not long ago. It's 3 days ago. That's when it started.
Yeah, I really like how you structured that.
Thank you. I just for clarity, I structure with AI, so it's not like it's.
Oh,
I did,
I know, I know,
I did the structure.
I know. When I say I'm doing anything, please assume that my robot's helping me. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart.
So I'm like a muse here. Okay, I got this idea, and then I give the AI, and then AI does the work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, yeah, take this idea and make a plan, and then do it.
Exactly. So it's not like I structured things. I mean, it's my idea, and then of course we collaborated. So I take credit about this, a lot of
Yeah,
credit,
yeah,
but nevertheless, I will never be able to do it by myself.
yeah. It's interesting that that concept. I mean, I'm steering it very, very hard, and the outcome is amazing, but the outcome is surprisingly good to me sometimes. You know, better than I could do.
Yeah, I have the same experience sometimes. I think it's because when you really take your time to feed all the information, the details to your agent like properly, you have like an amazing output. It's just like wow, it's very like magical. It's just like okay, this is great, but it doesn't happen all the time. Just sometimes, you know. Say I want this to be like more to evolve like better and better because it take time because I realize it take time sometimes for me to explain what I need, you know. What's the vision, how he can see, how he doesn't see, he doesn't have eyes, but he doesn't see. You have to describe everything. It's like, and especially when you want to be a creative or more artistic, this is the most difficult part for to teach AI. Right now, it's like it's better to do it yourself.
Yeah, what I find frustrating is the sometimes AI disimproves something. I used to use one model that was doing so well in helping me with a specific task, and then suddenly it couldn't do it anymore. It couldn't help me anymore on the task. It's so
Yes, I have
upsetting.
this. Yes, I do.
It's
I have
just
this experience.
yeah, I mean, they're probably optimizing to save tokens, to save whatever electricity, whatever they want to optimize. And therefore, they change the model a little bit. And then, in most of cases, it works. But in some cases, it just breaks. It just doesn't work anymore. I'm having this problem with the Gemini at the moment that can't do what I want to do anymore. It's been doing it for many months, and now it's just unusable.
What
Um,
was your switch? Did you switch parameter size, or what did you
No, no,
switch?
no, no. This is. I have a custom gem that I've been using for I don't know 6 months to do some work with my. They help me with the writing and organizing my content. Okay, so I've been working with that thing for many months, and therefore I still use it sometimes. But now it doesn't really work anymore. I can't longer use it. Can't longer use it. So I need to take the parts and then use it somewhere else.
What do you suspect is making it fail? Is it the
It's no,
change
it's
in?
I mean, it's a known fact that those corporations, what they do, when they come out with the model, they give you everything, okay, and then they start to learn how to optimize it and say, how can we optimize it and saving 5% of tokens, for example. Okay, they make it a little bit more stupid, 5% more stupid. But on some scenario, that 5% makes the huge difference between be useful and not useful anymore. And they do all the time because it's part of the job to optimize. It's not like you do something that is fine forever. Uh, so
Oh.
it's a known problem. Sometimes it's just noticeable, but most people will never notice because you only notice at the edge of the technology when you push it to the maximum, and then you
Yeah.
see that breaks before than you used to do it. But if you don't push to the maximum, you'll never know it.
Yeah, and I think when you've got your system tuned to a point where you're getting really good outcomes, you notice the mistakes much faster. You're like, why? How did you
Yeah,
miss
yeah, yeah.
that? You know, we've been working for 4 hours and you haven't made a mistake. Like, how did you miss that? And you have to go in and analyze what's going on there.
Yeah, it's the ability of holding complex idea and protocols to develop those ideas. Because I have a lot of protocols, okay, which when I chat with this AI, which Gemini 3.1 Pro is one of the best for this kind of high level thinking. Okay, so they're really good at high-level thinking. They maybe don't do anything else, but good at high-level thinking. And therefore, you can give a lot of protocols. When I talk about something, he knows I need to grab this protocol and follow this, and then these other things. Then if I challenge, he needs to challenge with a specific protocol. So there is a really complex thing. I have around 70 protocols I'm going to share to you so you have an idea. So it's pretty complex and used to be able to do it, but now it doesn't. So those are my, what is it? Play and protocol library. Okay, so those are all my list of plays and the protocols. You see, it's a lot.
Yes.
30 protocols and 50 plays. They all interact with each other and so on. So it's pretty complex. It needs to find the right one at the right moment. Okay, so the mixtape one was my favorite one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. We didn't have time to go through all of it, but I was looking through this, and it's so well structured. How do you map this? Is there like a major index map on the protocol flow? Is it just the protocol screen? I know we got
when
the
you
one
say when I'm
protocol,
up, you talk about this.
like how data flows through each one of the protocols, because they don't all run independently, right? There's a chain of them.
No, yeah. I mean, some of them they are connected, but some others, most of them are not connected. So
And that's what I was asking. Like, how do you know what's paired with what?
it's I don't know. I mean that is the job of the AI in somehow. No, you use the intelligence to realize when you need to use something. And that is the challenge. Okay, so some of the thing that I wanted to do it was with the logician. Okay, so the logician will force to use a specific play or protocol when we are doing something. So, for example, this one now, I always struggle to read when I'm in front of people. But this is basically the AI goes into the mathematical average. Okay, that is what it does. It goes towards cliché. Okay, it goes also versus the next most probable token. Okay, so there is this anti-compass, which is a system that help AI to actually get out of the kind of thinking.
Yeah, I see.
You see,
And
so
are all of these getting used at to some degree at some point?
yeah. I mean, they are being created. I didn't create those by chance. Okay, by working with AI, slowly, I've been creating those protocols. So this is months and months of work to achieve those. Okay, because they will fix up a specific problem that I was facing. And therefore, AI would grab them in the right moment. The problem that I had with this, that they become a lot of them, and the AI, of course, can struggle remembering and so on. So that's why I wanted to build a multi-agent that actually just say, I'm gonna inject a protocol at the right moment when I see there is a need. So it's kind of an external. You remember we built on the first version of Resonant OS the what's the name? The R awareness. Okay, that would inject SS of T's.
Yeah, the context injection.
Yeah. So it would inject SS of T's document basically within the context window at the right moment. So my original idea, was to have an agent that would do this by reading the context window and say, now you need to know this document, and it's gonna push it inside. Okay, now that I see, you see, this one is display, play 48 is related to play 32, narrative.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so there are some of them can be related. So I have keywords and so on. But But yeah, so there is those are come from a long journey of working with AI and say, okay, AI does this problem. How do we get out? There is a play for it. Okay, I build a play. Now, some of those problems have become less and less problematic because they are the agents are getting better. So here you see 2026, but this one is being when it's been implemented in here because it's not the date of creation. This is when it's been rebuilt for this system.
Manolo, as you were building these and building your system over the time, what gradient of improvement did you see? Were things, of course, when you first start using Claw, it's like terrible, right? Everything's breaking, and you were even using it before Claw, but what gradient of improvement to get to, that very good, usable, workable level?
It's I think it's massive. It's huge because you have an AI that is basically goes for the average to an AI that is in line with my philosophy, my way of working, and so on. And and my way of working and philosophy is not again something that just I didn't think about. Okay, there is a massive amount of work and thinking and real life struggle, and therefore those protocols came out. Honestly, the
Oh,
I think we lost Manolo. He'll come back.
left for it. All applied learning, all experiences through real life solution to real problem. Now, some of them are kind of weird because maybe it's my thinking. Okay, I call this one mixtape because my idea was is connected to the era of building a mixtape. Okay, where in now with digital, we go on YouTube or whatever, Spotify, ask for a song and we get that song. In the in the 80s and 90s, you need to prepare your mixtape, then you put in your Walkman and you go out and that's the music that you have. So the curation of the aspect, the way of taking care and so on is a completely different one from what we have today. And there was some valid element in their approach. Okay, and I want to bring that kind of way of thinking and working within AI. Okay, back inside AI, because AI it's in reality doesn't have this. Okay, you need to create.
yes. Yeah.
You need
No,
to
you're
create the
right.
friction
Yes.
of the mixtape.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you start? How many protocols and what level of development did you have to get to start really seeing that, oh yeah, this is what's going to drive the outcome? It's the protocols, it's the structure, it's the harness. At what point did it, like, because you were using the chat for years? I mean, you used it since I think a couple years back, right?
I think now is about 3-4 years. Probably we are getting into the 4 years time now. That I've been using it every day, every day on everything. So it's been a long journey, and I don't know. I mean, for me it was. I mean, I realized that the AI wouldn't get better unless I would customize it. Okay, so I needed to add some elements. So I start to write this Resonant OS on a chat or a kind of a custom gem. And I started creating all of this, but then I couldn't give all of them. So I would just give in some because it couldn't manage to manage all of them. More the model will getting bigger and bigger, more I could give of a number of protocol. But but yeah, that was the journey. It was not. I don't know. I was working with AI, find a problem, then say, okay, let's save the solution. Let's meditate on the problem that AI is creating, and then think the solution. And my solution was in some cases, okay, I have these kind of names, but there is another one that is, for example, let me see if I find it. The Maya is here. I just saw it. Where is it? Maya. The Maya principle. Okay, this is not my thinking. Okay, this is something that I saw from somewhere else. This is not connected with AI. Okay, but it's this play is really important because is the idea of giving something that is different but still have an element of
Yes, of
in
new.
common. Okay,
Yeah.
on you exactly. So you don't give. I don't know how to explain. So when you have an incredible idea, you need to have elements that people can connect to it. Otherwise, they won't recognize it. It's too advanced. It's too far away. So you need to have something that is still familiar with the human. Okay, so they feel familiarity, and then they can address the innovation. If it's just pure innovation, people get lost. They don't
Yeah.
understand. They have no reference point, and so on. So now when I build, AI knows this. Okay, this is the Maya principle. Engineering the familiar surprise. Okay, that is the idea. So now the AI knows that this is how I want to work. So you see what I mean? So when I
Yes.
implement something, now AI knows, okay, I can go here and think in those terms. So, and not just AI thinking this terms. If I don't do it, AI tells me, look, we need to apply the Maya principle here. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Yes, yes,
almost like
yes.
you're doing temperature tuning with the software, right? You're kind of forcing it down that path.
Yeah, because and of course the system prompt needs to know that it needs to use those principle, but needs to challenge me. Okay, but it doesn't challenge me out of nothing. It's challenge me out of am I aligned to myself or not? Because I don't care to be aligned to something else. Okay, I need to be aligned to me. Am I drifting away from my philosophy, my ideas, and so on, or not? Because if that is the compass, right? I need to stay aligned with myself, to my high level thinking. So I map my high level thinking in all those elements. Okay, now AI needs to check, am I doing it or not? Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so if I drift away, then AI has a point of saying you're drifting away from this. Okay, you're drifting away from this other point. But if I don't give point, AI doesn't know what I'm drifting from. Okay, so it cannot say you're drifting. I cannot push me back to my high level thinking, my high level philosophy, and so on. So all those elements are there because I need it for myself. Uh,
Well,
my
I appreciate the naming conventions. They actually help to frame it in your mind what the concept is. I can tell you thought some of those through.
there is a lot of them. Some of those I think I've been sharing in the older version of Resonant OS, if I'm not wrong, but not all of them because some of them just make sense of for me. Okay, some is just my journey, my way of thinking. So I don't want to impose this to anybody.
Oh, how would let's say someone had the set of protocols installed with Resin OS, how would we want to allow them to disable one? Like if it, like you said, it just doesn't
At moment,
flow with it.
At the moment, they are not present in theory. In theory, you shouldn't have those. Do you
Yeah,
have
I mean
it?
they're there in the workspace, some of them, but I'm saying, down in the future, you want to have a certain set of protocols that you've kind of filtered down, like you said, that for the people that start using it, then some of them may or may not fit with their personal work style.
Yeah, I mean, everything should be able to be turned off. So you said that they are here somewhere.
I thought in the first version, I saw the protocols in the protocol folder. And also, they're also visible in the protocol viewer, the
So
graph.
in the older version of Resonant OS you're talking about.
Yeah, in the older
Yeah, yeah,
version.
yeah, yeah. So exactly. So some of them are there. You should have be able to turn them on or off, all of them. But you can always say to the AI, look, turn this off. and the AI will ignore it. At the moment, none of them should be present here because this is an advanced implementation that we can do later on. But also, I need to go through them because to understand if actually makes sense to share, because some of them made sense on the older version of AI. AI is getting much better. I think, for example, is this maybe it's this one. Maybe not. There is one, for example, AI always used to think in binary terms, and then I create a system to allow AI to exit the binary thinking.
Yeah, you let it say no if it needs to. It can say no or disagree.
Yeah, exactly. You can say no, but the idea of thinking in so there is this problem that sometimes you have. Okay, you give something to the AI and say, look, I got these two options. What shall I do? Okay, consider these two options and so on. AI, at least my system would look at the options, say, look, those are not real options. Okay, maybe there is a third or fourth or fifth options that you need to consider. The fact that you see the reality implemented into two options, it might be the problem itself. You see what I mean? So sometimes you if you tell to any AI, look, I have option A and option B. Shall I choose the whatever T-shirt, white T-shirt or black T-shirt, whatever it is? Okay, my system AI has this system to get out of the trap of thinking that those are the actually two only options you have, because reality is not like this. We really rarely we are locked into two options. Okay, so my system, what it does, has a way to break this thing and look if actually those two options are real. Before answering, do those options actually real? Do you really have only these two options, or you have more options? Because if you do, let's break this trap and look at the real options, and then we can discuss.
I think this is a key behavioral protocol. And it'd be nice if we could identify the ones that are key like that, because this, I'm sure some of us have written things along these lines, but this is very structured. This is very well done. And I think this is a key to make it behave better and get, just better outcomes in general.
Yeah, exactly. Those are extremely important. Fortunately, AI is getting better of not getting trapped within those binary thinking. But nevertheless, it's good to not to remember it. Don't think in binary. Anyway, those are the work that I was doing.
Very good.
Vlad also shared a protocol, if you can see it on the.
No.
Yeah, I send it on the general chat, so
Yeah,
everyone
got it.
can. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's the same one because I had to give me just one file, but I think it's good enough to have a baseline and work from there. It's helping a lot. In research process, I think it's been helping really a lot.
For researchers, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, for because we always try to think of a project like a research project. So we first start discovering and researching, and it's really good to explore different options and get that process of removing it from that specific lane that is going, I think.
And research is such an important thing. I think I'm gonna do a video maybe tomorrow about this problem.
Yeah.
Because when we work on, for example, those local model that have less knowledge because they have less parameters, they've been receiving less training. Okay, what you have is an AI that doesn't have all the solution, especially, for example, for coding. Okay, it has a lot of information, but not everything. So therefore, they don't have enough knowledge to navigate some scenarios. But if you ask the AI to do a research, now the output of the research is so high level that now he knows he has the knowledge to actually address the problem. So even though the model is smaller and less intelligent, because you allow AI to do a research first, now you get the data required to actually think a high level. Okay, you see the difference. So even though you might have a smaller model, but this is happening with even with a bigger model, okay? Because sometimes I see my even GPT 5.5, it just act as an idiot and say, look, just don't research this thing because I know that the answer is not what you're suggesting. Okay, so it did the research and then find the solution and now implement the solution, problem solved. Okay, because you see sometimes AI that just, I don't know, I know what to do. I'm gonna do this, this, and this, this, and this. And then
Yeah,
it doesn't
happened to
work.
me all the time. Yeah,
It
exactly.
acts as an idiot. If it doesn't one shot the solution, stop it right away. Okay, means it doesn't know it, and means it's gonna try until he find the solution. So it's guessing, and guessing is just a waste of token. So as
Yeah,
soon as it start doing something like this, it just say stop it, stop it. You are an idiot. Okay, do a research, search this because out there someone else has the same problem. Okay, and they find the solution. So let's copy the solution, implement it, and problem solved. You don't need to have the knowledge. Someone else has it.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And therefore any model can actually can work, even if it's small, even if it's a local model, can resolve a high level problem if you guide AI to do this research. Anyway, I don't know how long is this call, but for me it's time to
2 hours is good.
it's good. Yes, for me it's time to go.
Yes, time for me, it's time to go too.
At some point, our meetings are going to start with a group of people, and then other group of, and then people leave and come, and you don't know who
Hey,
started the
hey
meeting.
Manolo, could I catch up?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Tom, you got cut out.
Manolo, I was wondering if I get a chance to talk with you. I know it's probably already late about the browser, so maybe we can catch some time tomorrow before
No,
the
let's
meeting.
let's talk. Shall we close the recording here,
No,
and then we?
I'll stop the recording, and you can keep talking here.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye, everybody.